What's going on, guys? For 5 Reasons Sports, this is Kai Chan Chisholm. You can follow me on Twitter at Samurai Radio, 2 I's in Samurai. And of course, you can follow me on my show at Onside Radio every single day from 10 to noon, where I cover not only Champions League soccer like we're talking about here, but also stuff around the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Heat, and anything else that comes my way. We are talking Champions League soccer. The quarterfinal first leg is this week. Quarterfinal second leg is next week. Super excited to get everything underway. Tomorrow we have Real Madrid versus Liverpool, and then Man City versus Dortmund. Then on Wednesday we have Bayern, PSG, and Porto, Chelsea. Great matchups, I have to say, by the way. I think when these first got announced, I absolutely loved them. I sat there and I looked at them and I was like, okay, Madrid versus Liverpool is a pretty good matchup. City versus Dortmund's pretty good. Bayern PSG, revenge from the UCL final maybe. Now Robert Lewandowski is out, at least for the first leg. Brings some interesting things in there. And then Porto Chelsea is a pretty interesting one. Chelsea hasn't been a dominant team, but they haven't been a great, they haven't been a bad team either. Porto takes out Juventus. So it's a lot of storylines and a lot of things that can be very interesting. When we talk about and I'll give some of my predictions as well. I'm most likely going to be wrong because that's always what happens anyways. But I'll give some of my predictions, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well. With Real Madrid versus Liverpool, I think I look at that. I don't see a situation where Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp lose this tie over 2 legs. I could see them winning a 1-1 leg. I think that they're going to be away. Yeah, so Liverpool's going to be away. So I could see them maybe winning like 1-1, but they have the away goal and kind of like uncertainty going out there and everything like that. Ultimately, though, I think Liverpool's going to go ahead and just smash that home and absolutely move through. I don't think that Real Madrid has what it takes. However, look, I've been wrong before. I just don't see Real as that team that you look at that's still that dominant team, that UCL favorites and always out there. We haven't seen that really since Ronaldo left in general and went to Juventus. So it's hard to really look at Madrid and see a very dominant team. So it's something that I look at, and I think that Liverpool should not lose it over 2 legs. However, I could see a situation where they lose maybe the first leg of 1-0, or they win like a 1-1 or a 2-1, and then they have that crucial away goal, and maybe win 1-0 at Anfield in the following fixture on the 14th. I could see that very well, very easily. Man City and Dortmund. Now, this is one that I look at, and it pains me, right? Because I, obviously a Bayern fan here, as you can see the patch. I don't like Dortmund, but at the same time, I think that Dortmund's failures in the Bundesliga have not translated into the UCL. They've done pretty well in the UCL. Now, of course, the Sevilla game, like they still could have lost to Sevilla, and it is Sevilla. It's not like it's some world beater. But Sevilla also took Bayern into extra time for the UCL Super Cup in the beginning of the season. So it's not that hard to look at Sevilla and still see a team that could be something and that could have gone through. It's a dangerous game for Man City. I have to say, I think the 2 dangerous games are, at least for the favorites, are Man City, Dortmund, and Porto, Chelsea. I think that City being at home against Dortmund is not easy. Dortmund with Erling Haaland can make things happen. I think that Erling Haaland can get past that City defense. Now, I don't think that Dortmund's defense is that good either. Mario Akanji's been messing up a lot. Mats Hummels has been messing up a lot. Their midfield has not been that great. And again, in the Bundesliga, Dortmund has not been doing that fantastic. So I wouldn't completely rule out the possibility of Dortmund obviously getting blown out of the water. However, I think that these games and these matchups between City and Dortmund over the next 2 weeks should be looked at. Now, of course, if tomorrow they get absolutely blown away by City, then I don't think there's a chance. But if a similar thing with Liverpool, let's say that Dortmund, score early on an Erling Haaland goal and then they let one by, they're going home at the Signal Iduna Park next Wednesday on the 14th with an away goal in hand, and all they have to do is at least score 1. You at least score 1, you take it to extra time, and then if you can't, no one scores at extra time, you're going to penalties where anything can happen. And Roman Bürki is not a bad keeper. I think that Dortmund, look, I don't want to sit here and say that this is going to be a tough matchup, but if I was a City fan, I would not be so sure that we're going to walk away and destroy Dortmund. I really don't think that you should be so sure of that. The next one is Bayern versus PSG. That's going to be on Wednesday, as well as the Porto-Chelsea game. Look, Robert Lewandowski's out, of course, as a Bayern Munich fan, and you see me with the shirt on, and you have the badge and everything. I'm a little concerned that Robert Lewandowski's out. However, I would like to add, for those who might have seen the UCL final, and again, they're both different teams. You know, Choupo-Moting was a big-time player, at least for PSG, last season in, Thomas Tuchel's side. Now it's, Pochettino instead. And look, they're not... Right now, PSG aren't in the most outstanding form that they could possibly be in. It's been a little bit rough. They lost to Lille on Saturday, and they lost Neymar from that one. They beat Lille again in the French Cup, though, on the 17th, but they lose to Lille there. They've lost to Nantes in recent weeks. They beat Lyon over their past, their past 4 league games, I guess we could go with. You have a 1-0 victory against Bordeaux. You lost 2-1 to Nantes. You beat Lyon 4-2, and then you lose to Lille. After you demolish them in the French Cup, you lose to them 1-0. And that one coming from a Jonathan David Canadian goal. So I look at PSG, and I don't think that they're in the greatest form. Even in, if you look at just Ligue 1 in general, they're behind Lille. That match mattered a lot. They've only won 3 out of their last 5 when it comes to this. Lille, of course, they've only won 2 out of their last 5, but they've drawn twice. A team like Lille and Monaco and Lyon, those games matter a lot for PSG in the league, and they've won it consistently. And they have 8 losses on the season. Look, Lille's drawn a lot, Monaco's drawn a lot, but 8 losses for PSG after you sack your head coach in Thomas Tuchel, who's been doing a fantastic job since he took over at Chelsea. Of course, the loss to West Ham this past weekend sucks, but he's done a fantastic job with Chelsea since he took over. And Pochettino right now is in second place behind Lille. And I look, there's only so many games left, and Lille's games that they have left in these next in these next 7, they're pretty easy. I mean, Friday they play Metz, then they play Montpellier, then they have a pretty hard game against Lyon, and then it's Nice, Lens, Saint Etienne, and then Angers. And I'm not saying this just as a Bayern fan, I'm saying this as a soccer fan. If I'm looking at this, I'm not that scared of what PSG can do right now, because what happened in the UCL final with, I would say, a weaker squad for Bayern. It was still a very good squad. Coutinho wasn't doing much except until, I guess, the Champions League. Ivan Perisic was very good in the Champions League when they were in Lisbon, especially. But these are guys that you look at and you're like, you get a guy who's performing extremely well now, and a Jamal Musiala now into the squad. You have Leroy Sané, who's starting to finally come in form both with Germany and with Bayern. So I don't think that it's going to be this crazy walkaway that some people believe because Robert Lewandowski is out. I still think it's going to be competitive. But at the end of the day, over 2 legs, I see Bayern going through. And I don't think that we're going to have a situation where Bayern doesn't go through. I would love to be shocked. Trust me, I would. I think it would be great for, club football. I think it's just great for world football in general because it brings that, it brings parity. Everything is different in the world. I would love for this to be a really, really tight game where in the second leg in France, all things on the line, it would be the best matchup. Then we have Porto-Chelsea, and I don't really think much of the Porto-Chelsea one. I have to be honest. I don't think that it's going to be the greatest fixture to watch. And either way, if Porto goes through, I really would not be shocked. If Chelsea goes through, I would not be shocked. At the end of the day, let's say that Madrid wins, Bayern wins, Porto wins, or let's just say Madrid, Liverpool, Bayern, PSG, City, or Dortmund win. Any of those 6 teams, in my mind, wipe the floor with Porto and Chelsea. So for Porto and Chelsea, this is great. They got a weak matchup against each other. They'll be able to advance into the semifinal. I don't think that either of them advance past the semifinal. I think over 2 legs, Liverpool advances 3-2. I think City advances over 2 legs 4-3. I think Bayern advance over 2 legs 2-1. And I think that Porto advance over 2 legs in I think they advance in a 1-1. I think no goals are scored on Wednesday. And I think Porto gets an away goal at Stamford. And it finishes 1-1 at in Chelsea, or in Stamford in London. Random predictions. Let's just have some fun with it. We'll touch base again next week when everything's going on with Champions League Soccer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, I am Kai-Chen Chisholm. You can follow me on Twitter at Samurai Radio, 2 eyes in Samurai. And again, like I said, I have a radio show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to noon on Onsite Radio. You can find that link down below in the description as well. This has been, again, 5 Reasons Sports, Kai Chin Chisholm. We will see you guys in the next video.